Regular meeting beginning at 7 p.m.
Please call this meeting to order. If you'd like to join us in the subject of the event, please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The clerk, please help me with the roll call.
Bevis Yeckheim.
Here.
Devereaux.
Here.
Green.
Here.
Lewis.
Perfect.
McKinney. Robinson. Schwartz.
Party. Thank you. Moving to the approval of the agenda, I understand there are a couple of items that folks and I also would like to walk on.
Supervisor, one item that I'd like to have added to the agenda is the item with respect to the utilities department and the hiring freeze.
Support.
Second.
And Mr. Green supported it.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, it goes on to the agenda. Ms. McKinney.
Also to conduct the job analysis.
Okay. Is there any
Word.
support?
Support.
Yeah.
And if you wanted her to continue with her.
No, just the job analysis.
Support. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The item is placed onto the agenda. And then lastly, I would like to put on a resolution to approve payment for emergency fire vehicle repairs to Cummins Sales and Service. Is there any support?
Support.
A second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The item is placed on the agenda. Also under new business. That's all.
So point of order,
Yes. please.
sorry, just for clarification. So under new business, F is hire freeze, D job analysis, and H resolution to approve payment for emergency fire vehicle,
Yes.
Perfect, thank you.
Now, where are you putting the job analysis at?
new business,
New business, under new business, starting.
G.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Is there a motion to approve this revised agenda?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Yes, Ms. Evans.
Devereaux, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, the agenda is approved. Moving to citizen participation, is any member of the public would like to make a comment, please share your name, keep the comment to 3 minutes, and please have it related to one of the items on the agenda. And do join us at the podium.
Linda Baker, Ashton Court. I'm here to speak on behalf of the Committee to Promote Superior Township. That's page 122 of your 300 and something page packet. Our monthly info graphic looks like this. There are also copies available on the table for the audience. And here's some quick highlights of what we've been doing this preceding month. And the main things that have happened since your last meeting is we participated in the Superior Roadside Cleanup Day, which I think everybody is very aware of. It was very successful, and the township, it's visibly obvious the work that we did, and many of you and many citizens participated, which was great. And we're now getting ready for Superior Day coming up on June 14th. To be aware of, but we're starting to ramp up on the details, what we're going to do and who's going to participate and that kind of thing. And in between this Friday, we will have our booth at our information booth at the Dixboro Farmers Market, which has the first market day this coming Friday. Other than that, I would like to put out a plug for additional participation. Both in our meetings, which are on the third Wednesday of the month, so that's day after tomorrow. It's open to anybody who shows up on Zoom, and our flyer is back there, and that gives you the link and everything if you need be. And, oh, the other way you might participate that I mentioned is by being a guest staffer in our information booth. So, that could be, any week between now and October. So keep that in mind as well. Thanks.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Ms. Everett,
Can I ask Brenda a quick question?
Ms. Baker.
Is that okay? Brenda, if we have dates in mind for when we might be able to help staff the information booth at the farmers market, should we just reach out to you directly?
Yes, you can do that for, my personal email, but there's also an email for committee, C2PST at superior-twp.org. You can do that as well.
Okay, great. Perfect. Thank you.
Any other comment from the public? Anything on that?
No.
Seeing no further public comments, citizen participation, I would like to close public comments and move to supervisors' comments. Some nice updates tomorrow at 6:30, but we will be hosting a town hall with the Parks Commission to discuss the future of the Rockwood and Breland property. And our trustee, Ms. Deborah, will be helping to facilitate the discussion. It is out of a series of 1 and perhaps 3 that will be conducted across the community. So we hope to see you there. Your input is important and powerful. Something that I think has been a long time coming. Over the past month, the Washtenaw County Road Commission has gone out twice and collected data on the traffic pace on Plymouth Road. With the increase in businesses, increase in foot traffic, and the new pathway that was installed, I think that there has been some natural traffic calming effects. And where the current speed is 45, my hope for our residents and the folks that like to leisure in the area will see that coming along quite a bit. Something that I'm really excited about, and we'll discuss more formally on May 30th at the Dixboro Farmers Market, is that we are expecting an approximately $40,000 gift from Hyundai to the refurbishments and rehabilitation of the Dixboro Schoolhouse. It's a subject that's been in the works for a long time, but we are really excited to be working with the president of Hyundai. Their North American Research and Development facility is located here in the township, and they're really proven to be an engaged and wonderful partner. Something that came up quite a bit too over the past year is safety along Prospect Road. And there was a fatality about a year and a half ago on Prospect Road. And some of the folks over at Golden Lane and Autumn Woods had been seeking some sort of alternate route that would, more safely carry them north and south in our community. And I'm working with the HOA over at Autumn Woods to find some sort of resolution that will grant public access. But that's underway, and everybody is seeming to want to come to the table and create something that's much safer for our community. Last week, I believe it was, we had DNR come out, the Department of Natural Resources, to conduct a public hearing related to the homestay ordinance and how that would be mapped out. And lastly, Supervisor Schwartz, who is a little bit tardy with an issue at home, will be here soon, conducted his first meeting with the 3 core members of the Roads and Blight Committee. Those 3 core members are Pastor Larry Davis, Jean Winborn, and then as official, Ken Schwartz has been leading the group. We're still looking for more folks to show their interest and engagement. I've gotten 2 folks that reached out to me about wanting to join once the meetings begin more consistently, and I'm hoping that we can get the 12 people to be engaged in that front. But that's about the gist of my comments for today, and was happy that earlier we had a very productive working session around our personnel manual, thinking through the hiring freeze, and then also some of those job analysis projects that are underway. So with that, moving to presentations, we do not have any. And then for consent agenda, I'd like to bring up approval of the minutes. Is there a motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Moving to reports, I would like to take this as a whole unless any trustees would like to pull an item. Are there any items you wish to pull?
I would like to do one clerk update.
Okay, great.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you finish.
Outside the first update. are there any others?
I'm sorry, I was just, so you want to report, so we do the minutes first?
I think we approved the minutes.
The ones for April 21st?
Yes.
They were approved.
Yeah,
Okay, all right. Okay, next. Come on, fine.
So out of reports, I have a request to pull the clerk's update. Are there any other items that the board wishes to pull from reports? With that in mind, is there a motion?
I mean, that we pulled the first report and then all of the other reports.
Is there a second?
Second.
No,
Oh,
you said it at the same.
Yeah, we keep doing.
okay,
it. Sorry.
on the 29th of April, as we had talked about at the last meeting, my update that I would have the Woodhill Group come out and meet with the different departments. Colleen Coogan came out. She's the CEO of the Woodhill Group. And she met with Carol from the Treasurer's Department, who handles the bank reconciliation for the Township and Utilities Department. And she also met with Nancy, who manages the fund accounts. And she went with Mary of the Utilities Department with her staff. Her staff was there with us. Colleen came over to review the accounting process of the township and to examine the bank reconciliation procedures to ensure that our records were properly balanced. And I'm happy to report that both Carolyn and Nancy were praised as rock stars. They were doing an outstanding job. And when she was here, the atmosphere was positive with the employees. They really liked her. It was like a good meeting with them. And during the visit, she observed that both the treasurers and the utilities department were doing things that were duplicating some of the work that they were doing. And she also noticed that the governmental accounting software, BSNA, as Brenda had talked about in our work session, was not being used to its full capacity. And that Nancy was currently using it in the Treasurer's Department as well. And we would like to give to the Utilities Department all of their accounts on it as well. And like Brenda had mentioned, that once everybody is on the BSNA system, it will communicate with each other and we'll be able to generate the reports that were needed. And then the treasurer supervisor and I also met by Zoom with Colleen and Karen Lancaster. I think the meeting went well overall with us. And the hourly rate that she had quoted or said would be $100 to $250 an hour, depending on staff assignments. And I also contacted another firm, which was Plant Moran, whose hourly rates range from $175 to $400 an hour, depending on the staff assignment. And then additionally, you have a question?
I'm waiting for you to finish.
Okay. Initially, I wanted to note that over the past 4 years, the former part-time controller was paid over $300,000 with 1 year exceeding over $100,000.
Yeah, $300,000 a year.
I think she's got a 4 year total.
And then one of those years, the controller exceeded over $100,000. Yeah.
1 year.
For 1 year.
Was it 118,000 they made that 1 year? Years before that?
Yes, I
Year
believe it
before
was.
that, wasn't it?
Yes.
I do think that includes his work with the accounting and utilities department. Those photos.
But it we bring,
Yeah.
right, these are overall, child is working as a
Part-time.
part-time. Controllers. Well, to our knowledge, he was the controller, not knowing that he was controller / had another, yeah. So that's the total. And then what I would like to do is I plan to invite the Wood Hill group to an upcoming board meeting so they can meet the board and do a presentation. So they can explain how they could help with us here at the township.
That's control. Control.
Kind of like a consultant. Kind of like a controller role, but to consult over, the township to make sure our funding is that we're doing what we're supposed to do with our buddies, because basically, at the end of the day, they will be here to help us because we're working for the residents to make sure all the dollar amounts are accounted for, just kind of like oversee.
Well, that's something our auditors do too. I mean, what they be doing with the auditors,
Well, I just want them to come in and do a presentation so we could see exactly what they're offering, how they can help us. Because I would like somebody outside firm to help with the finances, keep us in line with, that knows the governmental accounting.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm happy to hear a presentation. Thank you for the report. If possible, can we have a written copy of that? The report that you just gave about Wood Hill Group? And then secondly, so I think I'm like Ms. McKinney, just trying to get an understanding. So when they come to present, are they presenting as like acting as controller for the township?
It would be more like consultant, because when they were talking with Nancy after our meeting, there's more things that Nancy does and also that the auditor does that Nancy could possibly be doing.
Okay. So, okay, I'll be interested in hearing.
So I would like for them to come and present so they can explain exactly how they can help Superior Township.
I'm like Dana, I'm okay with the presentation. But I just want to make sure that they aren't duplicating what we're paying our auditors to do. So as far as making sure that accounts are being reconciled correctly in the treasurer's office, because our auditors do that for us as well. So I just want to make sure there's no duplication of services that we're already paying for.
And then what she did tell me that whatever area that they help in, they would just charge that hourly rate for that particular thing. So kind of like support, to provide support and guidance, so to speak.
The first thing, but I mean, what I did see from them was tiers of support, not an hourly rate. And I thought
She gave me an hourly rate. I'm sorry. She gave me the hourly rate because we were going through the tiers, and some of the things in the tiers, some of the Nancy said that she was already doing that. So they changed it to like the hourly rate, suggested hourly rate. So I'm not sure what the proposal would actually look like if they were to come aboard.
So it seems like I think we all have questions. I think it would be beneficial to have the Wood Hill Group come in and give a presentation. Obviously, the board not having any decision made yet.
Exactly.
Do you have a timeline where we can expect the
They
presentation
can
next week?
possibly come to the June meeting.
several. Yeah, so just two things, specifically, if you're able to ask them
Okay.
for it, that would be great for them to include in their presentation. So I'd love to see, just as you listed out some things that they noticed, I would love to see a comprehensive list from them of what they noticed us doing well and what they noticed as gaps, and then what kind of time estimate they may have for filling those gaps. And then on top of that, whether or not the gaps that they're noticing are one and done, we need to build a foundation and then we're good to go. And they can help us with that, or whether it's an ongoing responsibility that they would charge us for over time. And then the other thing would just be the range. And it sounds like Plant Moran didn't do a whole heck of a lot better. But the range that they gave you was huge.
Yeah.
So it's 150%. Like that's that's not an estimate. So I would want them to have a more narrow range for us based on the gaps that they've seen.
To Ms. McKinney's earlier point about being concerned about duplicative work, I'd be interested in seeing a more formal second quote and analysis from another firm and see what their assessment of is what we need help with, where we're doing well, and really grasp if we do need this position. Ms. McKinney?
Yeah, I will be at the June meeting, but Angela, would you please let them know that we want to make sure that there's no duplication of services? Because we rely on our auditors to guide us, making sure that we do our reconciliations properly. And I'm surprised that when we have our audit every year, that's what our auditors do. If there's something that we aren't doing that needs to be done, they bring it to our attention. So if you would share that with them.
Well, if I may add, I will say they were actually surprised that we actually reconciled on a monthly basis. And then I thought, and I asked her, I said, why are you surprised? She said, because most places that they go, they don't reconcile for 3 to 6 months. And we were thinking, well, this has been done forever, that it's always reconciled monthly, that they seem to have been surprised. And I mean, happily surprised though.
And if we were not reconciling every month, our auditors would have told us years ago. So
Take that back to them, but, I would feel more comfortable if we did have someone come in to guide us. Just keep that in mind, because that's under my statutory duties to have the over the finances, just to have someone there.
that's what our auditors are for. I mean, you can always pick up the phone and give our auditors a call too, for guidance. I mean, because you can even ask them during the audit, Angela, as well.
I think I think all the points that have been made are valid. I'm interested to see what the presentation looks like, and then once we have a secondary quote, we'll have one. So the same process that was conducted with the Woodhill group, I would want to see that same process we conduct with the secondary group, and then have a presentation. Just that way,
Okay.
you know,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Is there a motion to receive and file the clerk's report?
So moved.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The report is filed. Moving to communications. Are there any items that a board member would like to pull from the communications? Right, being none, is there a motion to receive and file communications?
So moved.
Support. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Communications are filed. And moving to old business, I think that this needs a bit of explanation. I should move that motion to discuss.
So moved. Let's discuss ordinance number 169, Article 3.
As well as the others.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got to that one.
Take
My
all of them.
apologies. I mean that we discuss all of the items under old business A, B, and C.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ms. Robinson, could you share with us the revisiting of these ordinances?
Yes, they were actually sent to the paper after the last meeting, but the email address was different than what, it was sent to a different address. So the person that was supposed to get it didn't get it, they didn't get it on their end, but they were submitted online. But if by not reaching the correct person, they were not put in the paper, so we had to bring them back. Yeah, so it was.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yes. Oh,
Is this comprehensive of all the ordinances that we've passed thus far during our term?
No, just
Just these three?
Yeah.
Okay. Ms. Lewis?
given.
they didn't get missed, they were sent. But the paper to someone else and it didn't get to the right person. The email address didn't get,
Will be mispublished.
actually Christina's.
Yes.
Oh, that hurts. Fine.
So basically, MLive has multiple email addresses for sending in public notifications. It was a little bit confusing when I was speaking to the representative about it. But he was saying sometimes we have emails floating around out there that work sometimes and sometimes they don't. So the one that we had, very odd, I know. The one that we had used it before. It had worked fine. We'd gotten the notifications out. For some reason, it didn't work this time. So we have an updated email address that he was like, this one works every time. You can use this. And we'll be able to avoid that in the future.
And you're sure that the other ordinances were published that we were?
Yes, yeah, we got confirmation about those.
Mr. Green?
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
I was just, that's okay, I was just gonna ask, so given that two of these are first readings, one is the second reading, does the time frame from the receiving of the email to the non-receiving of the email, does that have any implications on us at all in terms, because I know there's a time frame to go from first reading to a second reading and what must be done, so does that have any implications on us?
Well, I called Fred and Fred. Yeah, come
Yeah, my friend's coming up. So I just want to make sure I'm understanding this correctly. So just, I'm guessing that Eric they not publicly posted, but they were publicly posted in live for reading, and they weren't because they were sent to an incorrect address. Or the email address that was sent to was wrong. Right. Wasn't working. Broken. Yeah. Okay, and that's why we're reading the rain.
Yes.
Well, it's the first reading, all you have to do is just republish it, no problem. It's publishing, it's fine, it's probably from Angela. As far as the second reading is concerned, I am not aware of anything that says that the second reading must be within M number of days of the first reading. So we can just have the second reading at this time and publish it, and that'll be that.
Thank you.
And we'll have a programmatic delay in there until inspection.
Yeah. By how much? A month. Okay.
All right. If there's no further discussion, is there a motion to receive the file?
So moved.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Receive and file. Now moving to new business, we have the property maintenance code first reading. This is associated with the rental inspection program and to be complementary and consistent. This was necessary. Mr. Lucas did take a look at it as well as Mr. Bassett, who drafted the property maintenance code. And I believe this one requires one reading. Are there any questions? Is there a motion to approve the property maintenance code?
So moved.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What you're approving is the resolution setting the fee.
Got it.
Right.
We're not actually approving the property, the ordinance. No,
Okay.
that does, the ordinance requires you to read, but the resolution does not. This resolution is merely establishing what the fees are under the property. Okay, want to make sure.
For that clarification, how we had it.
So you know, we have a retake motion.
Yes.
There a motion the first reading of the property maintenance code. Is there a motion to approve the resolution for the fee of the fees?
So moved.
Second. Ordinance, yeah.
Yes.
Schwartz,
Yes.
McKinney,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Green,
Aye.
Devereaux,
Yes.
Dash Ekheim, Robinson.
It is unanimous. Moving to resolution 2025-30. Yes.
Question. You said we were voting on the fees,
The resolution.
the resolution? There's, that was just the ordinance, the first reading of the ordinance.
That's what I heard. What is,
The ordinance that adopted 2021.
we did at one point,
Yeah.
and then if you wanted us to vote on this property maintenance code, and that it required one reading.
It wasn't presented.
And there were, you said that email earlier, saying the fees attached,
That
right?
was for the planning. Yeah, something that was good.
So we need to change that.
So,
Yeah, so, yeah, we're just,
Fees toward,
I'm sorry.
you need to change that from the fees to the ordinance.
yeah, that's up and the original question.
Yeah, the original motion, yeah, this is just the first reading,
Okay, I'll move,
so we don't,
I'll move the first reading.
Ordinance 195.
Yes.
Ordinance 195.
Or,
Can we get our roll call this one?
I'm sorry.
Can we get a roll call?
You don't have to have a roll call for it. This is just the first reading of the ordinance. Just an introduction. You wanna do it? We can do it. All right, Schwartz,
Yes.
Robinson, yes, McKinney,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Green,
Aye.
Devereaux,
Yes.
Dabish Akine.
Thank you.
So we'll have to get the fees on the next agenda.
Perfect. Resolution 2025-30, a resolution to approve professional service agreement with JCM Media Group for website support and project services. Is there any discussion?
Doug is here.
Okay. Hello, Jeff.
Wait, we need a motion and support first.
Is there
um,
support? Anticipating questions if Jeff went through them, Jordan's.
Hello,
Hello.
I haven't seen some of you in almost 10.
Probably a good sign.
Yeah,
Would you like to walk us through your proposal?
so essentially Angela reached out to me pretty shortly after she started her clerkship
Mhm.
and just wanted to get a sense of where we were at with the website, how things had been progressing. And the answer is that I've been kind of hands off. So we built the website in 2016 and launched in 2016. And throughout, some turnover and some administration changes, mostly the township has been handling things themselves. Every once in a while, I would get a panicked call about something or another. And we would jump in and help on an hourly basis. After a couple discussions with Angela and her team, who's been working on the website, there was a sense that it's just kind of 9 years is a long time in technology.
Mhm.
So there is just a sense that there needs to be a little bit of a lift into kind of more modern technology to address things such as changing Americans with Disability Act requirements. And it's kind of like, I don't want to say that anything has been done wrong on it, but just there's been a lot of cooks in the kitchen and it's kind of become a bit of a Frankenstein. And so like having us come in and do a little 3-month project to like clean up, tidy up, give some training and support to some of the new folks around here, I think we'll get it back to where it was when we first handed it off to you in terms of aesthetic and professionality, but also bring the technology that powers it up to a more modern standard and gets everyone comfortable with its usage. So that's the gist of the 3-month project. And then beyond that, if there's any desire for like an ongoing support, we do ongoing support with AATWP, Ann Arbor Charter Township, for a very low monthly maintenance fee. It's just that because I've been so removed from the website for a number of years, we got to do kind of an intensive to get it to that point where maintenance is a little bit more like coasting.
That reminds me of your hourly rate with this currently.
It's $175 for a la carte services. But I don't know if you have the proposal in front of you, for any ongoing services, we reduced the hourly rate to $150.
How much do you estimate that you're looking with us on a weekly basis?
Zero.
Yeah.
You're in charge of,
Mrs. Robinson.
no, I was just saying, he was really nice to, whenever we called, he would give us the help that we needed. Without charge.
Ms. McKay, who's managing our website now?
Your internal team,
And who's that?
most of it. And the,
Hey.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's it, no one,
I mean, sometimes I can hang out and try to help. But that's about it.
so it's basically just you two.
Yeah.
And Sarah, we do appreciate your time and your effort and your help to come.
Oh, it is so beyond my ability to fix. So I just wanted to say, like, Frankenstein is a great way of describing what's on the back end of that thing.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure what happened. But there's duplication of plugins, like there's just stuff everywhere. And so the two things that I was curious to ask you is, it sounds like from what you just said there and what I see here, that just getting it clean is one piece. And then on the excuse me, on the training side of things, would you also be able to provide some written documentation so that others, like in the township that may come on later, just like very basic stuff that somebody might need to do? Would we be able to produce something like that?
of course, and we could do written or sometimes with tech stuff, video, like watching a video tutorial can be helpful too, whatever you think is most helpful.
Yeah, that would be awesome. There were a few things where it really wasn't that hard. It's just because of the way that the back end is structured, it was just not intuitive at all. Yeah, thanks, Jen.
Sure.
So I'm just looking at the cost here, $6,579. I know it's listed in the proposal here that would be allocated from the township IT support budget currently. How much do we have budgeted in IT support?
Recover this moment.
Say what?
And if you're how much is in the IT budget?
But I talked to Nancy regarding where the money would be allocated from, and she said it would be from the IT, so.
I
I'm not
understand.
sure exactly what that
How
number
much
is.
how much is in there now, is what it is.
No, I know, I said I don't have that number at the moment.
Right, yeah, so given, where we are with general fund budget right now, it would help me to understand. I mean, the website can be updated, there ain't no question about that, we need to get that fixed. I'm just where we are, currently with the general funds, I just wanna make sure that it was budgeted, and I see this isn't like too much of an overspend on it. We absolutely need the help, I just wanna make sure. So is there a way that we can get access to that?
It'd be nice to have the amount before we make a decision tonight. Is that?
Yeah, that's what
Something that I was interested in too was I think that the, first 4 items are necessary, but the general as needed support of $5 a month, I don't have that over.
What the $2,625?
Oh, for $5 a month, it's $2,625. So I'm okay with that if we have that in that line item now.
15.
I was just curious, so to Trustee Green's point around where we're at with general fund, how we don't have the audit resolved. I just wanted to ask Ms. Robinson how urgent this is, and whether this is something we can look at once we have the audit completed and we know what our financial situation looks like.
Yep.
It's needed as soon as possible.
So what's needed? What do we need right now as soon as possible? That we can't wait for the audit?
Or you mean wait till
Vote on it in June once we have actual numbers to work with. Like, do we have?
honestly, we could do that.
Yeah.
But what is it we need? Is it something you need right away? I mean, I don't want you not.
No, we can wait. We can wait till June's meeting, it's fine. Huh?
Oh.
Yeah, we can wait.
Yeah, we've been waiting a long time.
Okay.
Use your help. Yeah.
We wanna see what we have in
Yeah,
general fund
we hear you.
before we start spending money.
Yeah. We understand.
So I agree, maybe have looked at the money. I've worked with Jeff for over the years. And one of the big problems that we had is that former clerk just wanted to hoard everything when it came to the website. And didn't pass that around. And I let have enough people have access to it. It was always based on her judgment, what's the best thing. But it definitely needs an update, so refreshing. And if there's technical issues that, maybe drop or crash, then those all need to be.
No, I don't think there's any dropping or crashing. I think most of the technical issues would be related to the ability to get things done on the back end, for your internal staff and improvements to accessibility. So those are the two that I see, and the 5 hours that you were asking about. That was based on their request, was just that they would have me available when things pop up as they do. Sort of like an extension of training, but like active training where I'm like getting in and walking through it with them.
There'd be a program, some sort of training program.
Yeah.
And I think for
Right.
the first few months, that's really smart.
Yeah.
If I can just finish, I think that the board really needs to go forward with this. You can wait a month, but you need to update that, it needs to be refreshed. Had a committee meeting today for this roads and blight. When we're talking about the website, we'd like to put a button up there where people could report, well, we don't have anything like that. So we can work on making it more user friendly.
So within the scope of the budget, we're not, the $6,000 is not very much in technology.
No, it's just right.
So,
Right.
sorry, thank you, Madam Chair. So just to clarify, because I was looking at the scope of work here and then the fees, and I was trying to get the numbers correct. So it seems like,
Was there a mistake?
no, I don't think there was a mistake, because it says like we're at the total value of the services is $8,225, and then there's a 10% discount. So that subtracts the 1646, which brings you to 6579. Okay.
Yeah, right.
So I think here you were just like listing the services.
That's right.
It's not that there's an additional
And
cost.
then there was a,
Yeah.
and then there was a discount, right?
Yeah, completely understand. Thank you.
That would be the total
Right, I get you.
for the 3 months.
And I do want to just say this, so that I am in full support of this, and this would have helped me to have that the number that we have budgeted for IT services, just so that I knew
Right,
if we were overspending the budget or if we were looking at budget.
and I agree with you there, I would too.
Okay. We can table this until next month.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion is tabled for, or rather, the resolution is tabled for the meetings.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Deb.
Moving to something else technically, right? That is revenue control. Or budget control, I'd like to bring the resolution 2025-81, resolution to accept CAD networks proposal for managed service and remote on the table. I will support. Fourth. I'd please like to open the discussion and bring Sam to discuss what we have in front of us.
Hello, everyone. I'm Sam Eddy. I'm your account manager at Taz Networks. I am just about to start my 3rd year as your account manager. And prior to Taz Networks serving Superior Charter Township, it was a company called Nimble who we acquired. Many of our staff from Nimble is still with us, and they see us quite frequently. But today, here to talk to you about our managed service proposal that we put together for you. After doing kind of a review of the last couple of years for Superior Township, spending is increasing because you're currently basically charging an hourly rate for our services. Okay, we typically offer managed services for the clients that we serve. And that allows them to utilize us a little bit more freely, while providing them with kind of a better baseline of services that we offer without having to pay for every minute of every hour, every time you use them. The reason that's gone up primarily over the last couple of years is because of some technology upgrades that are pretty desperately needed at this point. Most significantly, I'd say would be your server needs to be replaced. That does tie to all the other locations that we have. It's all based out of this building. There's a little bit of a technical reason for that, because typically what we would see is each building should have their own Well, with BSNA and how their database exchanges information, that's not really a possibility with the current incentive. So we would just do a one server replacement, they were put out for that as well, which was just refreshed today. Side prices continue to go up on hardware, so I encourage a decision sooner than later on something like that.
I think from overseas,
I'm sorry,
I
Sandy.
think from overseas.
Pretty much anything with a chip in it. It's
Yeah, we better hurry up and
yes.
get it.
Yeah.
We gotta hurry up.
How much time do I have? And let's see here, additionally with our managed services, Windows 10 is going to end this fall. Good portion of your workstations operate on Windows 10. And as of October 16th, if there's still an operation being used, that becomes a pretty significant security risk for you. Given the type of information that you're storing, I would advise doing something about that as quickly as possible. And otherwise, it's really just both efforts are to lower your costs long term and increase your productivity. Because right now, I can only imagine how many wages are being paid for people that can't do their jobs because of their computer not working or the server being down or whatever it may be. So even though there may be what seems to be a high cost up front to get a server in place, the long-term benefits greatly outweigh them. And I think that pretty much it. Oh, our managed services, they would also include a baseline of security items that you do not currently have in place. And again, just being the day and age that we're in right now, and some of the other things that are going kind of in the technology space, we're kind of entering this Wild West scenario of internet security, where if we continue forward with what you have right now, there will be something significant that happens eventually. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. So yeah, I really encourage some immediate action on that if possible.
And two, we've spoken a few times about this and discussed with me all the different aspects of protection that we perceive. But also what I found was intriguing is that we're darn near spending what this proposal looks like. But
Oh, you're spending more. Absolutely. Yeah, this year, I'll be spending about 10% more per month.
Yes, that's, okay, yeah, so I just want to make sure I'm understanding this. You're saying that for the hourly services, which we're not getting everything that we should be getting for that hourly service.
For our hourly services, you were just getting what we refer to as break fix, which is we get a call and we say, hey, this is broken, we come out, we fix it and charge you by the hour. Managed services get you that, plus all of the other items that you see standing.
And you're telling me that we're spending more than $5,000 a month doing that?
Yes.
that's about it.
Yeah, this year you're averaging about $5,500 a month. If you take into account the last 2 years, that's fluctuated anywhere from $500 to $7,500.
And so, if I can make one quick point, I'm sorry. We've got two department heads in the public that I know are very supportive of this proposal and have put their stamp of approval on it and are very concerned with how reactive our services have been, and they want to make sure that they're protecting the integrity of their departments. Ms. McKinney?
Oh, no, I was just gonna say, if we get this service, we'll be paying less.
Yes.
55 to 75.
I mean, assuming nothing else changes as far as needs or anything like that, because I mean, we still charge extra for some things that is broken down on the proposal. Like workstation installs and projects like servers and things like that. But if someone calls us and just says, hey, my computer's not working, right now we charge you by the hour to fix that. If you call us under a managed agreement like you have in front of you there, we don't charge for that.
No brainer.
Oh yeah, we're making a commitment, and so we get a break like in the price, whereas if we do hourly, we're not making a commitment.
You also get priority with that as well.
Yeah.
I mean, basically, part of our whole business model is we have clients that pay us to essentially remain available for them.
So we get the gold pack.
More or less, yeah. But funny enough, we used to kind of label them that way, but now
Right.
we just kind of have complete IT care. And
Yeah,
that's
they
it.
used to lay with the gold.
Right.
Get the gold pack.
Are we okay with calling the question?
Yeah.
Is there another people?
To, you're moving the proposal with TAS IT as network and taking care of it. That we.
Right, we have the money, we have the money in the budget. So that's the problem, we're just gonna get it cheaper, so I.
Yeah.
Just for clarity, so there's kind of two separate things here. There's, well, there's managed services, which is, you know, the break fix versus managed services part. But then there's also a server that desperately needs to be replaced.
Don't have this server in the package today.
Right.
Okay, so can I get on the schedule for next month to talk about that one?
Yes, once we're at.
Okay.
You got it after the deadline. but-
Okay.
All right.
Okay, so if we're approving for the services now, will they work properly without the new server? Or should we be doing this back, or should we be getting the server first and then get the managed server?
No, I would, sorry, I would say you would still get better service from what you currently have if we were to put these managed services in place, because right now we can't fully service you remotely.
Okay.
And once we roll everything out, you would actually have better resources remotely, so whenever you do need something fixed, we don't have to drive all the way out here to fix it.
Thank
So
you.
we have our tools.
Thank you for that explanation.
And you did get a bit, are you getting some quotes on the new server?
That's already been presented, yeah.
Okay.
Excellent.
Nothing's already in front of me.
So, Ken moved. And.
Brandon moved it, I clarified what she said, and I support her.
Oh, great, great.
Re-expansion.
That's wrong, ready?
Lewis,
Yeah.
Green, Deborah,
I,
Davish Deckheim, McKinney, Robinson, yes, Schwartz.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you, and welcome aboard again to Task Force.
Meeting to represent 9.5 to about resolution to up in your planning zone reschedule.
Support. I would like to say that we are generating a lot of income with respect to the salary space. And because of coming every day, my department interested, and we are really generating a lot of money.
So, on that point, so, I saw in the resolution for it, that, the fees are so elevated that we're at a detriment to the budget. And this is just out of curiosity, do we have like an estimate on how much money potentially lost with that fee audit?
I don't have a projection on what it would look like, but I do know in particular, like some of the publishing fees and things that our planner will go through. She's paying more to get it published in our brand applications. And I was provided a cost comparison for Saline, Dexter, and Albert Township and our community. And we are very much the side of no fees or low fees. And this was something that Carl was really pushing, and their expression is that we're simply getting quit.
and I was just curious, how does this compare with what we're charging right now? What percentage increase are we looking at?
Some of it was not super significant.
Okay.
If you were $50 higher before there was no charge, so that would be, you know, $100.
Sure, so relative,
It's nothing that's gonna blow a developer's mind. It's gonna be consistent with other communities. And I get, you know, a building inspector look at it, see who is comfortable with it. You know, need some phone calls too to the folks, in Pittsfield especially, which is in the Ypsilanti Township. In addition to the comparison, it was pretty much right on par with everything else.
Okay. Just a point for the future, I would love to see some of that, like in the future. So
Yeah.
especially when we're increasing fees for anything, particularly if it hits residents, just making sure that if you've done that level of comparative analysis, I just love to look at it.
I agree.
I'm sure it is my backup.
Thank you.
I like this thing. Even though Lisa has informed us that we're bringing in money from zoning fees, these adjustments are kind of necessary because we don't even have a zoning officer at this point. So you're building some reserves, so we do hire that officer, and that money will be there to help the board.
I just think this is tangential, but we do have 4 applications for the zoning administrator position. And some of them look really strong, so that will be hanging out there for a little bit until we figure things out regarding the hiring freeze, but it will save us money, and folks who seem to be interested in what we posted with Michigan Municipal League. That was the vendor that we used. Shall we call the vote? There. Motion on the table, you support this?
So moved.
Support.
Yeah, sorry. We're very smart.
Thank you so much. Well,
Deborah,
Yes.
Green,
Aye.
Lewis,
Yeah.
Kenny.
Yeah.
Robinson, yes, Schwartz,
Yes.
Davis Akon,
We're moving to resolution 125-8, a resolution to appoint Elias Ricky as the one side of the school disciplinary township utility department. Is there a motion on this? Support. Ms. Burton, thank you. I'm sure there's a little bit about this resolution and what's involved.
So this position, we want to expand it to cover the accounting needs for the utility department. Previously, we had a controller accountant, and then he resigned from the controller and became the accountant. He's no longer with us, so there are needs that are daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, annually that are needed. And we want to fulfill those needs that she can do the accounting for the utility department.
And it's been a significant increase in her daily responsibilities with Mr. Lockheed departing.
Yes, because this is daily where before it wasn't daily. And so we have vendors and things like that, invoices. He covered all of that, the month end closing and balancing. Right now we're working out of two databases, BSNA and QuickBooks. And those have to balance.
That's the training, right? The training. You're not working on a BSNA now, right?
Yeah, we do. We balance BSNA with QuickBooks. Yes, we work out of both. So, and someone stated earlier, I believe it was the clerk, that there's some of that is duplicated because we're working out of two databases for the accounting. So, it is work that has to be done until we can streamline it a little bit more by moving to BSNA. And that's hopeful for the future. So that's what we need. And we also handle our deposits, all of our deposits, all the money that comes in, that has to be accounted for, the payments and so forth, that will fall under the accountant to do those daily deposits and so forth, and balance that.
Yeah, did you bring us a list of the things that you just mentioned?
A list of the
changes, the
Yes.
jobs.
Yeah.
And the view with me and provided an updated job description, which you guys should have an updated job description from Ms. Burton. It was the
Those
best
places on the
one. Okay.
Mary, is Linda remaining part-time or is she gonna increase those numbers?
She will remain 32 hours a week for this.
Oh, thank you, Mayor. Thank you.
It's two different.
There's a past and so really what she's doing currently with the proposed income sheet. Question.
Yes.
No. Yes, I was doing roll call. It's a voice vote. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on. Yeah, our hiring freeze proposal, things we can.
Oh, no. No, they gotta change this back to, utilities, that would be, trustee, short.
Somebody else will get up.
Right.
I thought
you were. Yeah, I was out.
I'll make a motion to put up.
You want me to state the motion? The motion is authorize the supervisor to hire one permanent utility worker after she has consulted with the appropriate persons that she believes in her own discretion gives her the best candidate, and we authorize her to hire that person and then report back to them. This way, you can move fast this way, you don't have to wait.
Support.
Very enthusiastic, we recorded.
Yeah.
It's just discussion. I just wanna make- So is it any position within the utilities department, any position that Ms. Burton, the supervisor?
Well, it would be not
Or
me,
what?
it would be Emily.
Well,
Yeah.
yes, but I'm saying like in consultation with, he said an appropriate party, so I assume that Ms. Burton would be an appropriate party. In consultation, is it any position, what position is it that we're under?
Then I thought that the intent of that motion was to give her all the discretion at the time, to everybody to make that decision for us. And we're confident she can make.
So what, yeah, so it's whatever.
Whatever they agree on.
My intention is to work with Ms. Burton on the tech.
Was for any position or just in the utilities department, just to get an understanding?
For the tech position, intention is to work with Ms. Burton, and the board is proposing to give legal discretion to work with her to hire someone, so we can get that taken care of.
And I think the trustees would soon be working with us, Angela, on discussing that when you make a decision. Yeah. Before you bring it to us. Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Moving to item G.
I'll make a motion to, put a proposal together led by the supervisor to identify a resource to conduct a job analysis of all roads with, financial oversight across the township.
Support.
All in favor? Aye. Moving to H. Item, which is a resolution to approve payment for emergency fire vehicle repairs to sales and service, resolution 23-534.
Support.
Who's your voter?
Yeah.
Thanks for trying.
We all understand the
Yeah.
importance of having honorable fire trucks. That is a necessity.
Schwartz?
Yes.
Robinson, yes. McKinney?
Yes.
Lewis?
Yes.
Green?
Aye.
Devereaux?
Yes.
David Shakai?
Don't do that. Excellent. All right. We're on bills for payment. All right, moving to 11, bills for payment and method of disbursements. Is there, are we receiving file?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Is received and filed. Moving to petitions, for any topic you may be to, this is for the public. And if you please keep it to 3 minutes and join us at the podium if you please.
I would like to see the way over. Maintenance that you have that with some new drugs and things like that. Something that's drought tolerant, so we don't have to worry about watering, because it really needs to be enhanced.
Well, in regard to that, President, we do have a special assessment district already in place for that.
Side maintenance.
We could, yes, we could do that. And then whatever the cost could be, we could add that to next, if we didn't have enough in fund balance, we could add it to next year's special assessment.
We can use, side street maintenance money for that.
I'll do special.
So can we have somebody come next week to come and look at it?
Sure, I can look at the ambiance with Ms. Mason and figure out what we can do.
Thank you.
The invite our audience on.
This fun.
She was the subject.
Audience, Mr. Smiley, would you like to make a comment?
Yes, Jack Smiley. I'm on the Parks and Recreation Commission. And I just want to remind everyone that tomorrow we have a public meeting. And we'll be presenting our preliminary plans for what has long been called the Rock property. So in this very room here, tomorrow at 6:30, we'll have our first public meeting. And Thursday, May 22nd, we will be holding the meeting at the Superior Branch Library, also at 6:30. So if you're interested in seeing what we have proposed, please come out and we'll be seeking public comments. And hopefully we'll get some new names in the public domain soon.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank
So,
you.
Unless there's any questions, that's it.
Appreciate that.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for the lead you're taking on that property too. Doing a good job.
Absolutely.
Mr. Green.
My name wasn't kill me if I didn't give this one. So the Oak Grove sign on, Berkeley Stanford, that is an acts as a significant obstruction for the traffic that comes along that way. There have been like several accidents on that corner. So Oak Grove.
Because of that sign.
No, yeah, because when you pull, no, seriously, like seriously, when you pull up. No, Oak Brook and Stafford, or sorry, MacArthur and Stafford, when you pull up, if you're in a low vehicle like a car, you cannot see past that sign, you have to pull up. I'm sorry, Alex, I can't, I'm sorry.
Do they want the sign totally removed or just something smaller?
Like smaller or move back, like it actually, like I've seen like accidents. Yeah,
Thank you for correcting that.
I am being serious, Ms. McKinney, that is
So,
actually,
Dana, are you talking about the Washington Square something?
no.
It's not, the over,
Yeah, the over.
So when that car was saying was house.
My house is the third one, so. That's it, that's all I have.
Anything online?
Nope.
Yeah.
Can I say just one quick thing? I just want to say a big thank you to everybody who participated in the roadside cleanup event that we did last week. We had 60 volunteers. We removed nearly 5,000 pounds of trash, over 120 bags. So just like fantastic effort. Thank you to everyone on the board who participated as well. But we're hoping to bring folks together to do more to beautify the township. So this is not a one and done every year. But you can see how much better it looks just driving around. And last quick thing that I'll say, and then we'll all get home, is we even had folks who couldn't participate on the day, who came in and participated on their own with their own set of volunteers. So there's a lot of passion and interest in this, and we're going to keep it going. So thank you all very much. It was wonderful.
Thank you.
Good.
Meeting adjourned at 8:08 PM.